A 1921 amendment to the New York State Constitution determined that all new voters should be able to read and write English. The Voting Rights Act of 1965 was signed into law on August 6th by President Lyndon Johnson. Primarily thought of as part of the civil rights movement fighting for the rights of African Americans, the act enforced the 15th Amendment to the Constitution and helped secure the vote for others who were disenfranchised. The act outlawed the discriminatory voting practices adopted in many states, including literacy tests. Specifically addressing literacy tests, Section 4E of the Voting Rights Act of 1965 provides that no person who has completed the 6th grade in a public school or an accredited private school in Puerto Rico in which the language of instruction was other than English shall be disenfranchised for inability to read or write English. This provision was in direct conflict with New York's existing law. Two registered voters, John and Christine Morgan, challenged this section of the act by suing U.S. Attorney General Nicholas Katzenbach and the New York State Board of Elections, claiming that Section 4E infringed on the rights reserved to the states by the 10th Amendment. A 3-judge district court ruled in favor of the Morgans by declaring Section 4E of the Voting Rights Act unconstitutional. Attorney General Katzenbach appealed that decision to the U.S. Supreme Court, and on June 13, 1966, Justice William J. Brennan, in delivering the 7-2 majority opinion, held that Section 4E is a proper exercise of the powers under Section 5 of the 14th Amendment, and by virtue of the Supremacy Clause, New York's English literacy requirement cannot be enforced. The Voting Rights Act of 1975 expanded voting access to non-English speakers and readers by requiring states and local governments to provide translated voting documents where a single language minority group made up more than 5% of the voting population. The 2006 reauthorization of the Voting Rights Act extended the language provisions through 2032. While the Katzenbach v. Morgan case focused primarily on a relatively small group of New Yorkers, its verdict ensured the voting rights of more eligible voters, regardless of the language they speak. For more law-related middle school and high school education resources, go to https://nynpa.com/nie/lawday.html. This video was created for the News Media Literacy Program of the New York Newspapers Foundation and was made possible by funding from the New York Bar Foundation.